Hello everyone, and welcome to the 7th episode of Tuesdays with Tobe. My name is Tobe Frierson, and I am so excited to be back here with you all again. I had a friend reach out to me last week after the It's Complicated episode, and she said, Tobe, you stepped all over my toes. I am constantly making a mountain out of a molehill, and honestly, I didn't realize how much I was avoiding complicated things. Thank you. Also had some more feedback where I had another friend say, Tobe, I really enjoy what you're doing on this platform. I feel like I'm actually sitting with you in a room and we're having a conversation. Friends, this is exactly what I was hoping for with this platform. Please keep the comments coming, keep the feedback coming. You all are encouraging me so much, and I'm very excited about today's topic because it's near and dear to me. Honestly, I'm going to have lots of personal stories to share with you about it, but today's topic is in the form of a question, and that's a simple question. Why did I say that? But before we get started, we're going to read our family rules as we do each week. Ready, read. During Tuesdays with Tobe, we will use kind words, do your best, always be honest, forgive and forget, be happy, count your blessings, laugh at yourself, stay positive, and love one another. Why did I say that? So if we were to unpack this a bit, by show of hands, I wonder how many of us can say that we have a handle on our responses. Do you have a handle on how you process information? And then when you need to communicate something forward, do you have a handle on how that communication is coming out? What it looks like, what it sounds like, and how it impacts the people that you're responding to. With this topic, it's easy for me to roll back to my childhood. I know you all have heard me mention my mom a few times before, but this episode will highlight a few stories of how incredibly difficult it was to raise me. Because not only did I have super strong opinions, but I was very vocal and fearless, and I would say I was a little reckless too. So that meant I had no control over when or how to express my opinions. I'm supposed to be telling childhood stories here, but this is actually sounding a little familiar. Maybe that's for another time. First story. The time we visited Orlando, Florida for the first time, and my mom's cousin cooked breakfast for us. Now, disclaimer, I'm from South Carolina. So for me, breakfast consisted of grits, eggs, bacon, sausage, ham, toast, or a biscuit. Mom let us have cereal occasionally, but not that much. But again, that's what I knew of breakfast, and clearly that's all I knew as a 7 or 8 year old. What got put in front of me during this first trip to Orlando was, wait for it, corned beef hash. Some of you already know how this story is going to turn out. So picture this, everyone's sitting around the breakfast table. It's the first day of vacation. My brother and I were super excited because we were going to Disney for the first time. And my mom's cousin prepares this amazing breakfast for her house guests. And those of you who cook, you know how special it is to cook for someone. Cooking is clearly an expression of our love. And so then my plate gets put in front of me. I looked down and I said, ew, what is this? This looks like dog food. The shock and the horror on everyone's face said it all. Within seconds, I was whisked away from the table. And let's just say when I returned to the table, it was a little bit harder to sit down than it was before I left. That is definitely a memorable, why did I say that moment. Here's one more for you. We were riding down a country road where I grew up. And you know, when you hit a straightaway in the country, it's not uncommon to lay on the gas a little bit. Well, Mom was driving, my brother was in the front, and I was sitting in the back seat in the middle between my two aunties, my mom's sisters. Aunt Dolly was on one side, Aunt May was on another. This did not turn out well for me. So on this straightaway, there was apparently a cop sitting alongside of the road somewhere. And as we pass by, we see blue lights behind us. My mom pulls over, rolls the window down. The cop approaches the door and he said, ma'am, did you realize you were going 65 and a 55? She responds, no, it didn't feel like I was going that fast at all. Y'all, I cannot make this stuff up. From the back seat, I very clearly and confidently said, well, it felt like it to me. Why did I say that? It felt like my two aunties pinched the skin off of my arms. Oh my goodness, I will never forget that moment. I don't even recall what the cop said or mom's reaction, but when I tell y'all I can still feel that pinch right now just telling you this story, I really can. My asking questions and being inquisitive and flat out making brash statements completely came off as being challenging, as being aggressive, as not knowing my place as a child. I heard a lot of, who do you think you're talking to? You need to change your tone, young lady. You need to come back and ask that again. And I'll be honest with you all, I don't know why this never got corrected because mom and dad were trying. Y'all, I had two very capable parents and they were at a loss at how to control this tornado that was in my mouth. I was always saying the wrong thing or saying it the wrong way or saying it at the wrong time. It's taken me so long to smooth things out in this area. And if I were to be completely honest with you today, I'm still working on it to this very moment. It's way more controlled than, ooh, that looks like dog food, or it felt like it to me, but it's still there. It's still a struggle nevertheless. In my desire to pay attention to my responses so I can improve, and in wanting to help you all as well, because I can't be the only one that asks myself, why did I say that? I want to unpack a few ways in which information comes to us, and then I want us to examine, and I want you all to examine, what are our typical responses? How are we responding? So number one, we respond to things when people ask us a direct question, right? If someone asks us a question, we respond, but if they have a strange reaction, how many times have we said, well, you asked? And in hindsight, perhaps we should have taken a little bit more ownership in that moment and realized that maybe it wasn't our response itself, but perhaps it was the tone of our voice. It was the volume of our voice, whether or not you rolled your eyes. I think you get my point. The last thing we want is for people to ask us a simple question and then in their head say, gosh, I wish I never even asked. Think about this. Number two, the second way somebody can evoke a response from us, if they make a statement and they have an opposing view. So basically someone throws something out there, it doesn't quite match up with our ideologies, our beliefs. It actually doesn't match up with how we slant politically, spiritually, or for some of us, how we approach science. If we're not careful, it's easy for us to just hop in with a super forceful rebuttal to their statement instead of having a well thought out, calculated response. In this instance, you have to ask yourself, do I want to get my point across, or do I actually want to be heard and have a dialogue? And then number three, the third way, if someone makes a statement and it's incorrect, oh my gosh, how many of us like to be right? How many of us like to be right? But you're finding out late in life that a lot of times you're wrong. Toby, do not put your hand up. Do not put your hand up, okay? I tell you what, seriously, when you know something is incorrect, off base, just flat out wrong, a lot of us are like, oh, I can't let that go. I gotta set them straight. Well, yes, factual information is 100% needed in most situations, but some of us, particularly those of us who like to be right, we just pounce on someone when they have it incorrect, when they say something incorrect. We just pounce on them. I mean, we say things like, you're dead wrong. Where did you hear that? Someone must have lied to you. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And most of the time when we respond like this, we can make others feel very embarrassed, very less than, very ashamed. And while that might not have been your intent, you were just trying to correct, right? That is not how we want to approach people. We have to start figuring out how to have better responses and stop talking so rough and so aggressive. So to wrap things up today, I really need you all to ask yourselves, why did I say that? Why did I say that how I said it? Heck, why did I say that when I said it? That was poor timing. I promise you that within the last 3 days, you will have at least one example of where you should have asked yourself these questions. And if you're doing the inner work that I'm trying to encourage all of us to do, you have definitely asked yourself these questions because you're becoming more aware of yourself every day and you're trying to hold yourself accountable. So from this point forward, the next time someone asks us a direct question, the next time someone expresses an opposing view, and the next time someone makes an incorrect statement, let's all agree we should take a deep breath and think about our response. Or what if a response isn't even worth it because what they stated just wasn't worth a response? That's always an option too. Unless, of course, we were asked a direct question. Then that's rude. We should always respond. But my point is, we can impact our relationships and our interactions in such a positive way if we figure out how to lessen the amount of times that we have to ask ourselves, why did I say that? I hope you all enjoyed today's episode, and I really hope it's encouraging you to let's start to monitor our responses. I know this is an area which I told you those 2 childhood stories I have had to dig deep and work hard at, and I hope if this is an area for you as well, that you're willing to do that inner work. As always, I'm going to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you back here next week. Oh, by the way, It's my daddy's 73rd birthday today. Happy birthday, Daddy. Love you so much.